Hey there, cutie patooties, and welcome to the much anticipated March bullet journal setup video coming to you in the middle of March. Oh, yeah. The last several weeks, month really, has been kind of insane and full of chaos because we just moved house. You are getting a look behind the curtain today. You are getting probably the most no frills, bare bones setup video that I think I've ever made. As you can see, we're just working on a white desk surface today. I don't even have one of my beautifully saturated in color artistic desktop wallpaper backgrounds. I'm not even wearing nail polish. Okay, you're getting full naked nail energy because I've been moving boxes for days. For days. We're still living in Cardboard City, but we are in the new house and things are going well for the most part. We don't currently have a dishwasher that functions. We have a dishwasher, but it kind of just blinks a lot of lights and yells and doesn't turn on or do anything. So we are washing everything by hand, which is making me spend mental energy considering whether or not I really want to have to get out a spoon in order to stir my coffee, because then I'm just going to have to wash that spoon. So really, it's a lesson in sustainability of my time and energy and kitchen utensils. So yeah, that's where we are. So you are getting the true inside look. I set up this month over a week into my journal, and that's fine. Listen, life happens. The whole point of keeping a bullet journal or like a planner that you make yourself is that it reflects what's actually going on in your life. And it's fine that the first like 8 or 9 days of March just exist sort of in the vacuum that was you hauling from one place to another. So here's how we're setting it up. If you remember, I am currently experimenting with a quarterly vibe. So any long-term task lists or goals, as well as monthly calendars, I set all of that up back in January before my January pages so that each month could just literally have a cover page that says the name of the month and some random improvised art, whatever I felt like scribbling on the page that day, and my pain chart. So we are just setting up those two things. And as you saw, I flipped back to February to kind of get the feel for what I was doing and also to make sure I'm counting my boxes correctly so that I could cut off the edge of this first little like Dutch door page for my pain chart. And yeah, you are seeing the full process. And pardon me if approximately 84% of this video is just like a sped up time lapse of me kind of going through the motions of setting everything up. This is the reality. I needed to set things up. we were approaching the middle of the month, and I didn't really have the energy or time to I don't know, get more intricate with how I was gonna film it. So I just filmed me setting it up, and you're getting the full director's cut. Anywho, hey girlies, hope you're doing well. Here's a fun thing. March is my birthday month. So it's my birthday season, as I call it. Not to be annoying to other people, literally just so I can enjoy this time of year. Summer, I love her. Fall, autumn, yes, please. Winter, especially the start of winter, which is like the New Year's, the holiday season, even going into January, this like, ugh, ending becoming a beginning whole vibe, I love. But late winter turning into spring is my least favorite time of year for some reason. And of course, that's when my birthday had to be. So, in order to not hate this time of year as much, we celebrate birthday seasons. Because listen, as you age and adultify yourself, no one is like renting out the skating rink for you and your 36 like fourth grade besties, and catering with Little Caesars pizza and a Barbie birthday cake. Like, no one is doing that. I could tell my partner that that's what I want, and he would try to do that. I don't know that I have 36 besties at this point, at least not who all live in the same city as me. But here's what I'm saying is that as you grow older, this is just one of those things that I feel deep in my spirit. No one is going to celebrate you the way that you celebrate you, which is why we stress things like self-care and self-love and all of that goodness in our society, because you do kind of like seem established and fine or whatever to the rest of the world, and no one is like focusing on you quite as much when you are a grown adult who pays bills, and like you don't need a parent looking after you all the time anymore. So we celebrate a birthday season so that we don't hate the coming of spring, and so that we can like have some of that childlike wonder and joy, because it's fun, okay? So I would encourage you to get on that if you haven't. Anyway, this is rambly, but here you go. We love gold. I decided I wanted a massive sun, moon? I feel like it's probably the sun because it's gold, but like it could also be the moon because there are stars. So, you know, it's a planet in the sky. This is what we went with. We kind of copied the mountain motif from February. And then I just said, you know what I love? A metallic gold ink. I will also give you a spoiler. I stopped decorating the page at this point because I thought it was finished, and then I come back at the very end and add more shit to it, essentially, and I think I should have stopped here because I like this, and I think I ended up making it worse later. But that's always the risk you take when you're making art, is deciding the moment when it's done. So, anyway, check this out. I've shown this before. If you watched any of my setup videos from last year, you will recognize these. These are little, they're like cardstock with metallic gold foil, like postcards of tarot card designs. And I've used a bunch of them. Each design used to have 2 that came in this. I've had this for a couple of years, and I've been like taking them out as I'm using them in my journal or whatever. And I have used one of like each of the designs in my last like 5 months of 2024. So if you go back and look at those videos, you can see the tarot designs that I use for my monthly setups. And aren't these just freaking gorgeous? So this little pad is starting to get thin because I've taken a lot of them out. And I have decided that the vibe we're going with for March, for my birthday season is the Magician. Let me tell you a little bit about her. So the Magician is one of the major arcana. So if you think of a typical deck of cards, it's kind of like a face card, like a king, queen, ace, that kind of vibe. And then it has representatives in the art of the four quote unquote suits. So it's got the sword, a cup, a wand, and a pentacle, which are similar to the hearts, diamonds, spade, clubs kind of vibe. And the Magician is known for symbolizing resourcefulness, manifestation, the ability to turn your ideas into reality. It represents being able to bring both spiritual and material energies together, which is why it has all four of the suits represented. It represents the four elements: fire, water, air, earth, and having mastery over all these aspects of existence. Creativity, confidence, being able to take proactive steps toward action for what you want to create in your life, that kind of thing. And it just felt like for a spring hater like myself, uh, for my birthday season, that having a card that's like, no, we're going to take everything that is around you and we're going to embody the vibe of like embracing all of it and breathing in and moving forward. So that's why we went with the Magician. Also, I hadn't used that card previously and I liked the art of it next to my large golden planet, sun, moon orb on the previous page. So, see, your reasons for things don't have to be deep, friends. they can just be. Anywho, check out that graph paper. If you've been around for a minute, you will recognize that my monthly pain tracking chart for tracking all of my symptoms, as I do live daily with chronic pain. Yep, every day, all the time. That's the chronic part. It is always there. So we are not so much using this chart as a way of like, woe is me, let's drown ourselves in the sadness of our reality and never feel better about our lives. It's more like, okay, we are paying attention to what is going on. We are paying attention to the nuances, to the alterations, to the potential shifts and evolutions that happen in our physical experience, so that we can take this bad boy to our doctor appointments and say like, hey girl, this is what's going on. Bestie, if you could prescribe a different medication, that'd be so nice. Because one of the things that chronic pain gifts you with is brain fog and fatigue. So when we go to those doctor's appointments, do we remember how we've been for the last month without writing it down? No, of course we don't. Why would we? Why would we remember any of it when asked? Deer in headlights, crickets in the audience. So yeah, you're seeing the setup from the beginning, where I am painstakingly putting on some metallic gold washi tapes because it's cute and it's pretty and I freaking like gold, okay? Also, it helps me find the edges of the pages easier. So yeah, we are using this same pad of graph paper that I bought several years ago because I only use one page a month, and we are setting it up. Reminder, don't draw all of these lines yourself. If you are using a dot grid notebook or even a lined notebook or blank or whatever, and you want to analog track your own symptoms in this way, please just buy like a $4 thing of graph paper from whatever store and cut out the space you need and use that. You do not need to destroy your hands for the sake of all of these lines. And if you've been around for a minute, you know that this is my little everything is fine, dog in the fire comic strip meme with the Mankowski pain scale for chronic pain printed out in the center. And I use this in every single one of my pain charts. I don't change it. I don't need to, because it's funny. It makes me laugh when I look at it, and it provides important information on the days when I'm like, I don't know what to categorize today as, so let me look over here at the little chart and like read the descriptions that help me pick a number and go forward. So yes, most of the time, the pain chart itself stays pretty static, I would say. I always reserve the top portion of these pages for the actual numerical kind of distillation of how my days went, so that I can have a number. By the time you get to the end of the month, it's really kind of lovely. It makes like a little trend line of ups and downs as you move through, and you can kind of gauge, oh, okay, what's going on during this season of time, and is my pain higher in correlation or lower? And underneath this like header that is the numerical kind of encapsulation of how bad my pain was that day, I track my moods and my sleep just to see how that plays into and whether or not it correlates with my pain levels. And then I have a handful of symptoms that are always present. So instead of just putting a little check mark or an X in a box to say, yep, this showed up today, I am actually tracking the severity, how high, how mid, how low the pain was on any given day. And it creates another little collection of trend lines that I can also use to measure what is going on. How is my body? Spoiler alert, because I set this up on like the 8th or the 9th of this month. The first week is just going to be an empty column. And look, a mistake made in real time. If you look right there, you will see that I, for some reason, skipped the number 17. So I get to the end of writing out all of the dates because I use the top row for like the dates of the month. And right as I get to the end, and I'm like, wait, I have one too many boxes. What do you mean? I thought March had 31 days, not 32. This is where I realize my grave mistake and have to fix it. And that's friggin' annoying. So, yep. Oh, God. And then I pointed out to myself and probably cursed the heavens. And now I have to fix it. It's fine. I've done this before. We just grab a little piece of graph paper and cut it out and like paste it over the edge of the numbers that come after 16. And then we just go in like nothing happened. Exactly. See, it's perfect. So I don't want you thinking that I'm like beyond mistake, okay? She is flawed. She is real. She is just a little chaotic goblin over here. So, see, look, and it's like it never happened. Oh my God. Okay, so as we're moving back, what was I even talking about before? Something to do with this chart, but we distracted ourselves, and now we have no idea where that thought train was going. It has derailed. It has fallen off the side of the mountain and plummets down into the chasm below. So anyway, now that we have the correct dates going across the top, the next part is where we actually get to fill in the symptoms themselves. I always flip back to the previous month for this part because, for the most part, a lot of these don't change. I am always measuring fatigue, I'm always measuring level of brain fog, that kind of thing. But the section of the bottom page, the bottom half where I'm writing just the symptoms kind of like one after another, and I'm just putting an X in the box if that thing showed up. That's usually the spot where alterations happen from month to month. And I do end up making one change for March from February. In February, I specifically wanted to note limb lightening, so nerve lightening, like specifically in my arms and my legs, because that was showing up a lot. I don't know if it's a sciatic moment or what, but we are on fire down through our hamstrings and through our elbows, strangely enough. So we added that for February, and I decided to alter that for March. I think I end up writing limb lightening when I'm writing all of my, what do you call them, the symptoms down at the bottom, but I do go back with some whiteout and cross out lightning and put in numbness, because we wake up with both arms dead asleep, pins and needles, every day. And then several moments throughout the day, one of my arms will just fully go to sleep. So, it's cute. And we we would like to track just how often limb numbness is happening. I do have issues with that in my feet as well, and have had that in my hands for a long time, but now it's like the whole arm. So don't worry, we're going to ask a medical professional to tell us what the heck is going on. We're going to do our best to bring it to the attention of someone who could potentially do something about it. So yeah. Please enjoy this collection of me just writing words on paper. Oui. I will say, if you're measuring your moods, or like how well you slept that day, using my little faces kind of toward the top, do you see those 5 circles that have the little, they're like poorly hand-drawn emojis? That brings me joy. Even if I'm feeling absolutely dead, deceased, terrible, and I'm using the little dead, deceased, terrible face, just drawing that in and of itself gives me joy. So would highly recommend if that's something that you're doing. I did used to try mood trackers that other people in the bullet journal community do, where they like fully turn it into art, and it's like a flower, and then you're like coloring in one of the petals the color of like what your mood was that day, and then at the end of the month you have like a gorgeous flower and all the petals are in ranges of pink and purple and blue, and it's gorgeous. And I tried doing that, and it would be great for like the first 5 days, and then I would just freaking forget, or I think I would just forget. It would just become like too much upkeep in the journal. I really enjoy just having to hang on to the one pen, the black pen that I'm working with, and having to hang on to this like a pencil case full of whatever colors I'm using. Like it worked for a time, and I left it in the dust because it didn't work after that time. So this has been much more helpful. Just the pain chart in and of itself is like the most intensive tracking that I do, and it's kind of the only tracking that I do. So including my mood and my sleep here is actually the best thing. And being able to just draw like a quick little, I don't know, like smiley face or like crying face is much easier for me to manage than working on like an art piece where I need a handful of different markers or whatever. Because if I'm not at home next to all of my stationery supplies, it becomes like a barrier to actually like taking care of myself, you know? Like the whole point is that this is an accessible activity for me. So, as you can see, I am filling in the stats for the like day of me making this and the day before. And we're just going to have that first column be blank because I was moving and everything hurt. We can just go ahead and say everything felt terrible. When you're like for 12 days in a row just doing manual labor in a body that hates everything. It's kind of terrible. Oh no, see here's the part where I was like, maybe we need some like wispy clouds. And maybe the wispy clouds weren't enough, so let's add some more like little dots in the gold. And like it's fine, but I think I should have maybe just stopped where I was before. I also realized that I forgot to write March, so this is the part where we added the actual name of the month because I fully forgot to write it. So yeah, look at that, we did it. It's something. There she is. This is my March pane setup. And oh, I forgot to draw the line in the C. Yeah, see, it's my singular font that you know and you love, and my little tarot card. And come on, okay, the gold, like you can't tell me that's not like cute as hell. All right, you just can't. You can't tell me that. Whew. And there we go. I do think I will need to try and like be better at setting things up in a timely manner. But listen, again, this is about what actually works for you. The notebook should work for you. You do not work for it, yes? My friends, I hope you are having a wonderful March. Happy birthday season to all who celebrate. And take really good care of yourselves. See you next time.